comes a time in one's life when a piece of clothing is needed, and the only way to obtain said piece of clothing is by making it oneself. Or maybe that's just me. I started by ironing everything out, both my fashion fabric and my lining fabric. Personally, my draping process is rather chaotic, so I didn't record much there. So this is what my pattern shapes look like, hopefully. I will note that the back piece here, I'm not sure if it was just a seam in one piece of fabric or if it was two pieces of fabric seamed together. So we're doing the two-piece method for this one. I laid out my draped pattern pieces on paper and traced around them with a pencil. Then I used a ruler to mark out a 1/4 inch seam allowance around all the edges. Then, using my new pattern pieces, I cut everything out of my lining and fashion fabric. The back panels get laid out with their corresponding lining pieces and then pinned together along that center back seam. Okay, so this is how the rest of the seams on the bodice are done. You're going to sew the two lining pieces together and the two outer fabric pieces together, but not sewing the outer fabric to the lining fabric, so the two pieces hang separately. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right now. As you can see, the center back seam is the only one that we will have to fill, and every other seam is encased inside the garment, meaning less filling time. There's that outer seam there. And so that's how all the seams except the center back seam are done. When I started this, I knew I would not have enough of this brown fabric to line the entire garment, but I was like, whatever, let's just get started and it'll figure itself out later. Well, I have that much fabric left, and I still have yet to do the sleeves and the flared skirt bit at the bottom. So we're gonna need to find either a different lining fabric for that or do some really, really clever piecing, because that is definitely not enough. Yeah. I did end up finding another piece for the lining, so the project went on. Okay, so this is where we are right now. I unpinned the nice fabric from the lining and put my stays on myself instead of my dress form so that I could really make sure that it fit me very well. I took in about 4 inches in total on both sides combined, and so I'm gonna do the same for this nice fabric then, but I just have to flip it around. And then the only thing I really want to change is this is a very sharp 90-degree angle, and I kind of want to like curve that out a little more gently, I guess, and maybe lower the neckline maybe like 1/4 of an inch, and then I think I'll be happy with the fit. Okay, here it all is put on right side out. As you can see, I did not sew the sides, it's just pinned on, but yeah, I'm really, really liking this fit, so I think I'm going to sew it all in place, and yeah. I cut sleeves out of both of my fabrics and had barely enough for the ruffle at the end. Okay, me and my lovely cute puppy are taking a quick moment to tell you how to put in the sleeves for this. This is so confusing. I'm gonna try and explain it. So basically, this is my lining, this is my outer fabric, and my sleeve for my outer fabric gets sewn right sides. Sleeves always get put on right sides together so that the seam is on the inside here, And then the lining fabric gets put on the same manner, right and right, so that you basically have two sleeves. My dog is not happy at me right now. Two sleeves going like this. And then you pull this one inside this one so that you get all the nice seams on the inside of your lining. And all these ugly seams are again hidden in between the two layers. So I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. That's the best way that I know how to explain it. And I did have to take out like about an inch at the top of the the shoulder seam because my sleeves didn't fit and it puckered too weirdly. So the inch makes it fit very smooth. So yeah, that's the sleeves. So I'm gonna pull my sleeves in, and maybe this will help you understand a little bit. So I just sewed them in. Here's my outer sleeve, my lining sleeve. So I'm gonna reach into my outer sleeve, kind of like I'm turning a sock right side out. I'm gonna grab the lining and pull the lining through the outer sleeve. So now if you look on the inside, you'll see my raw seams are together, and my nice seam is on the inside of my lining, and my nice seam is on the outside of my nice fabric. And these will get secured together when I do the hem here. And yeah, that's a sleeve. And this should fit pretty nicely. I think I'm gonna go iron it now just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. And I have the other one to do yet. My only grievance is that these seams are a little not set together, but it's gonna have to do. A quick try on of the sleeve and proves it is fitting very, very nicely. I think I'm maybe going to take about 2 to 3 inches off of the bottom of the sleeve. I think it's just a tad bit too long. It should be hitting right at the elbow crease there, see where it's bunching, so that it doesn't do that bunching. So I think I'm going to take a couple inches off there. But I'm going to set the other sleeve before I do that just to make sure they're even. At this point, I pleated and sewed the ruffle at the bottom of the jacket, but for some reason I didn't think it was important enough to film. So we're on to the finishing now.